Wonderful Forever University. Well, how does financing help grow your practice? We're here to tell you, and this is behind the scenes, very first time that I am interviewing a very important person. And I'm very excited because today's interview with Glen Holden, who is a Vice President of Sales and Training for CareCredit, Synchrony Financial. It's all about your bottom line. Today's patients expect options and flexibility. CareCredit Synchrony has the solution. So I hope you're listening carefully. And we're going to talk about working with your partners and optimizing your internal database, as we were just talking about, to really help you grow your practice and fill your schedule. So I'm going to introduce Glen in a moment, and there he is, his smiley self. So Glen is great at sales. For 20 years or more, he's been working in sales. He doesn't look old enough, but, and he currently leads the sales training for CareCredit Synchrony solution, which is wonderful that your reps are being trained, even though they are remote at the moment. He lives in Las Vegas, which is a great place to live, especially this time of year. And he's taking a week off to be with his family, which is great. So he gave us the last slot to today's patients financing options to talk about what's next. How can you roll it out? How could you take advantage of what is going on? You know, what is the purchasing decision? What decisions do your patients have to make? So you need to be proactive. And today, Glen and I are going to have that very discussion. Hi, Glen. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. So financing the end of the year is a big push. And then we're planning for 2021 more than ever. Are we planning for a new year? And so, you know, people want to fill their schedules. They want to hear your pearls. We probably could talk for 3 hours, but we'll try to cut it down and shorten it today. So, you know, why should somebody in a practice offer financing proactively? And how does it help to grow their practice?
Sure, this is a great question. Look, offering financing proactively can, number one, get folks to come into your practice. If you take a look at some of our retail partners, right, like Lowe's, let's think of Ashley Furniture, you see how they market, and they let you know how you can pay for their products before you even stop into one of their stores. So if you look at the flyer, it's going to say 18 months deferred interest, interest free. It will let you know how you can pay for it and break it down. If you are able to let people know how to pay for your products before they come to your practice, you have a better chance of them coming in the door. And especially with COVID now, from the people that I've talked to, we need more foot traffic. We need more patients to come into our practices. And financing is something that you can leverage to get people to come in.
Well, I think that's a good point, because a lot of people go to a store shopping or pick a practice that would be more affordable. So instead of you go somewhere where you know the provider is very good, and you know that what you're going to get, especially when you're dealing with your face, your body in aesthetics, is the right person. Don't just go where something is inexpensive. But you know, if the patient is not told that we offer patient financing options, and they should have, as I'm sure you agree with me, a page on their website that talks about patient financing options that they can click on and sign on. Takes a minute, if that, before somebody even gets to the practice. What is it? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's spot on. You know, people want to know that they can fit in the procedure or the product. They want to make sure they can fit it into their budget. They know what they're working with. I know pre-call here we talked about, look, I just read an article this weekend, 63% of Americans right now in this pandemic are living check to check. That's a big part of our population. And so they need help to be able to spread out the payments and not the treatment.
Yeah, and I think it's smart, and I think they'll fill their books, they'll bundle their packages together, they'll be able to do more services in the amount of time they're spending with less patients. So they're seeing less patients because of COVID right now. So why not make that time more valuable and bundle some packages together or some procedures? So whether it's Botox and filler or laser and different peel packages, build them together and make it affordable for everybody. Because right now people are afraid to spend money, whether they're afraid of what's happening with the market or their job or anything that's happening in the environment right now. Everybody is scared. And I think that you really make them feel more secure if they know that they can pay it out and pay it out at an affordable rate. And I think that that's important. There's objections that providers as consultants are always asking and we're hearing. And so today I think having you on is great to talk about those objections that we all are hearing and how to get past them. We'll start with the line item that we have here, oh, it's too expensive, your fees are too high, I don't want to pay a percentage. Well, why not if the money's going to be in the bank? So I guess you're the expert on this.
Yeah, look, it's not the first time that I've heard, hey, your fees are too expensive. And look, when you look at our fees, yes, they are expensive when you compare them to cash, when you compare them maybe to another credit card. However, we're going to allow your patient to spread the payment out for, let's say, 18, 24 months, maybe even longer if you use one of our extended plans. And in doing so, you're able to meet the patient where they need to be. And so they can accept the care that you're offering. They can get the treatment that they want now, and they don't have to piece it together. They can get everything that they want now, and they can spread it out over some time. And so, look, when you compare it again to cash, you compare it to another credit card. Yeah, we are more expensive, but it's a better experience for your patient because they can get everything that they need done now, and they can spread it out. Now, when you look at the different plans that we have some that are more expensive than others. Pick the one that fits you. Work with your practice development manager or practice development specialist. They'll help you out. They can get that sweet spot for you to maximize your profitability.
So that's what you're talking about. There's 6 month, 12-month, 18-month options.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you also had an option, a pandemic option. I don't know if there's still one, where there's like added value for the practice to offer CareCredit.
Yeah, we don't have those. We did come out of COVID, and we offered some, we'll call it pandemic options. I heard that was the wording that you used. We don't have those anymore. We're back to our standard rates, but they're still very affordable. We've been in business for over 30 years, and we've got the sweet spot as far as getting the rates that you want, along with the approvals that you want, so that way we can grow your practice.
And what about the relationship building with, this is something I talk about all the time with your rep, and in this instance, your finance rep from CareCredit. How is somebody supposed to build their relationship? Should they be reaching out? Should the reps be reaching them? And now there might be staff turnover. So there needs to be some more training on how to deal with, in the pandemic time, how to deal with it, which is a little bit different than it would be in normal times. But what should be the next step for a provider?
Yeah, so, it would be great if you have a relationship with your practice development manager or practice development specialist. The difference between the two, the practice development manager is in the field. Currently with the pandemic, we don't have our reps in the field right now, but typically they would be in the field, and we can't wait for them to get back out in the field, and I know they can't wait either. Our practice development specialists are at our call center, and they too can handle the patient conversation. They can tell you the ins and outs, the best ways to apply, the best ways to transact with CareCredit. Reach out to either. You can call our provider service number. Shame on me for not memorizing it, but I can send it to you, Cheryl, so that way we can get you in touch with your local rep. We do have coverage in all 50 states, even Hawaii and Alaska. So if you're out there and you want to have a conversation with somebody, we'll have somebody that's dedicated, that is experienced and can help you. They are experts in financing in your areas.
And that's great. And I mean, like everybody knows in the aesthetic wellness arena that you are number one. I mean, I know also in ophthalmology and dental, and there's other divisions as well, but everybody knows that you're number one. So, sometimes they might be able to bring it up in a way where the patient already has it, or if they use an EMR system or a system that integrates with CareCredit. I know CareCredit has been doing an amazing job integrating with lots of programs, it would automatically show up. So that's an advantage too, that I think they should talk to their EMR programs to see if they are aligned with CareCredit, to make it easier. And also it's contactless. They don't have to have a card on them. They could pay, very easily. So maybe tell us a little bit about that scenario.
Yeah. So look, we've got nearly 12 million cardholders out there. So it's
Wow.
not unheard of for somebody to come in with their card, show it to you and say, hey, can I use this? And they want to be able to use their CareCredit card. We have all different ways to pay. You can go online, you can do some post-care billing, you can apply several different ways. We have QR codes, we have integrations into practice management software. The one thing that CareCredit has done a very good job of is investing in technology, make it easy to apply, or easier to apply and easy to transact. And we have all sorts of ways. Your practice development team can tell you all the different ways and find out which one would be most beneficial to you. But that's one thing that the company's done a great job at is investing in technology to make it easy and meet you where you want to be met.
Which is great. And then, sometimes we hear that, oh, you guys at CareCredit don't approve enough patients. And is that, is there a percentage? And if they're not approved with CareCredit, you work with a secondary that you stand behind?
Look, our approval levels are some of the strongest in the business. Okay, I can't come out and say, hey, you're going to get a 32% or you're going to get 55%. It's really up to you. The practices that tell me that, you don't approve enough, I typically like to ask some questions. And what I find is they wait to the last minute to offer financing. And so what does that mean? That means, Cheryl, you come into my practice and let's say you've got a procedure, a product you're going to buy, it's $2,000. And I say, Cheryl, do you have any money? You have any cash? And you're like, no. Okay, well, do you have a credit card that you could put that on? And you either say, no, I don't have a credit card, or I have a credit card, but it's maxed out. And so then I'll say, okay, Cheryl, well, is there anybody that would loan you the money? Anybody, any family, friends, somebody that would help you out here? And you're like, no, we don't have anything like that. And so then all of a sudden out comes the application. Like, here's CareCredit. It's a great program for you. And the scenario that I've just shared with you, the person that has no cash, no credit, no or maxed credit, and has no friends that will loan them money, typically you're not going to get the greatest the greatest experience for an approval rate on a person like that. Instead, just like some of the national retailers that are out there, let people know there's financing. Let them know that they can apply. If you do that, I think you'll be much happier with the approval rate of our product.
I agree with you, because I feel if they don't proactively offer it and wait for the patient to kind of beg for it or embarrass themselves and say, I can't afford it, I feel they're going to lose them. And maybe they've already checked out mentally when they're in the middle of a consult, and they're not as enthusiastic as they were when they walked through the door. So before they come in, I don't care if you're Fifth Avenue in New York or you're, in California on Rodeo Drive. I've have clients all over the country. I've seen this. They're afraid to sometimes mention, are you interested in patient financing options? And interesting enough, those that don't have, as well as those that have a lot, are interested. They might not want to take it out on a credit card that maybe their spouse sees. They might not want to write a check that day or pay cash. So this gives them a really good option to pay it out simplify things for them. There are competitors out there, but you are the number one, which we know. And I think if they're told beforehand, even if they fill out the form before they get in, I mean, it would just make things flow so easy and not take much time. But if somebody is doing a consult, the person could go on their phone, like you said, they could be handed a form, they could fill something out on a computer in no time. They could be approved, and they don't even have to touch any money. But I think it really does help. Now, when patients are in a practice and they're willing to pay cash, of course, that's what cash is king, they say, I don't know if they still say it, but they used to say it. So the truth is that, does everybody have that $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 in cash? Most people don't. And if they do, it's invested somewhere, so tell us a little bit about, those patients that maybe have an option of paying cash or paying and getting a discount maybe, versus for the practice using CareCredit, and what are the facts or the myths about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, look, I've spoke with thousands and thousands of practices in my career, and there is a misnomer out there that people think if I offer financing, everyone will accept financing, and it's going to cannibalize my cash. It's going to cannibalize my credit. It's just not true. It's just not true. You offer financing, and if people want to take that offer, they will, or they'll ask you some more questions about it. People that have an American Airlines credit card or a Southwest credit card or a Marriott card, they want their points. They'll put it on their points if they want to, and they'll get the points. People that want to take, to have the cash to use, they'll use cash. And what many of the practices that I've worked with, they'll offer some sort of a courtesy discount for paying cash. Could be 5%. I've seen some as juicy as 10%. And then that way the cash payer feels like, they got a good deal by paying cash. You gotta meet the patient or the card holder, the customer, where they want to be met. And so you offer it, maybe they accept it. But here's one thing that I'll tell you, Cheryl. I have never seen in my 14 years at CareCredit somebody offer CareCredit consistently one year versus the other and get less revenue when they offer CareCredit. They get more revenue. And why is that? Well, because now you got the maybes, the let me think about it, the let me talk to my spouse. You've picked up some of those people. And that's why you would offer it upfront. That's why you would offer it consistently, because you're going to get those maybes, those let me think about it.
And what do you see? Because I see it, but coming from you, it's better in a way. But what do you see when it comes to increasing the bottom line revenue on a regular basis when they are consistently, proactively training the staff, teaching the staff, and offering? I know the providers find talking about finance or money, there's a fine gray line. Plastic surgeons will have a dedicated consultant, a patient coordinator. Some derms do, some med spas do, some practices don't. But it's very hard for the physician to really be able to talk about financing and funding. But I think maybe it should start at the front desk. And then maybe there should be some signage or some information, maybe even on the intake form. Maybe we should start editing the intake form and mention on there, are you interested in patient financing options if it is a cash pay procedure? What would you think about that? I just thought of it as we're talking.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I would even go back a step, take one step back. Put on your website. Let people know. Let people know that it's available. Let them know they can spread over 12 months. And then, when you get into the office, let them know again. We offer a free service where you can create your own financial policy. And this policy will it'll be all about your practice. There's about, I think it's like 24 questions that one of our practice development team members will ask you. Everything from, do you accept insurance if you're in that market, if what it would cover, if you bounce a check, if you miss an appointment, but you can also let people know that you take CareCredit, and you can let them know also in the operatories. You can let them know up near the front desk area. Let them know that it's available. Again, you can't over communicate that you can apply for this, and help people out, help them spread out the, the payments versus the care.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I find is the practices that have somebody at the desk or somebody doing the consult that's a little creative, that they're able not only to talk about let's finance or, are you interested in financing, but here's some options. So, they should have something ready where if, practice is average is $2,300, to do the filler and the Botox, for example, or $3,200. They should have something in writing that they can actually show a patient. Well, here it is at 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. What can you afford? And this way we make everything affordable to everybody, because you can have the best office, the fanciest office, the best Instagram before and after pictures. But if people are afraid that you're too expensive, they won't even come in. So that goes back to your point about having it online on the website, because it could be filled in. And when they come in, they don't even have to be asked about it or embarrassed. It would already be done. And I think maybe if a lot of people now are doing virtual consults. So I think even in a virtual consult, we started to train some providers to really start to mention that is available. We have some providers that are not only mentioning it, but actually getting paid, doing the consult and booking the appointments or the surgeries right on the virtual consult, which is taking them like 10 minutes versus 30, 40 minutes in the office, plus then sitting down with a patient, concierge. It's amazing that they're making more money in less time. You have to be creative, you have to practice, and you have to feel good about it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So, why should people offer patient financing? I mean, I think we've mentioned it, but tell us some of the key takeaways, Glenn, and then I'll let you get back to your day to day. But what are your pearls for practices? So there are some starting up, which is interesting. There's so many that we're working with that are starting up now, especially in this pandemic stage. But yet there's a lot that are expanding. So it's that plus the ones that are already your clients. So what advice do you have for them at this time, right before the new year, end of the year push where they want to get money in the bank and then start a program in 2021?
Yeah, great question. Look, many of the practices that I've been talking with, with the pandemic, they can't see as many patients as they once could. They, the patients that they have, they need to kind of maximize the treatment from those patients. And so I compare it to like a baseball, right? I can try to get more at bats, but if I can't get more at bats, I've got to up my batting average. I've got to, bat 350 instead of 300. And financing can help you do that. One of the biggest objections to people getting care is money. It's one of the biggest roadblocks. And so how do you solve that? Well, you might solve it by discounting your treatment. That's not much fun though. Trust me. I talk to doctors that love to discount it 15, 20%. Look, that's more expensive than any of the plans that we have. I can spread it out over 18 months for a lot less than that 15 to 20% that you're willing to discount. And, I can get some of those maybe, some of those let me think about it, some of those let me talk to my spouse. If you offer financing consistently, if your pie is like this, we're going to make the pie bigger. And sure, you're going to give CareCredit a slice of that pie, but it's going to be a much bigger pie and you're going to be much more full at the end of the day.
Yeah. And, closing more procedures and increasing your revenue is, as a consultant, what I talk about all day long. And so, CareCredit makes it possible for this to, it's very reasonable if you think that you're going to get, you're going to get paid within, 48 hours?
Yeah, most times it's 48 hours. Yeah, absolutely. That's when you should get paid in 2 days is what it comes down to.
Because there have been some practices that said, oh, we'll collect the money and this way we don't have to pay a percentage, but really you can have a bookkeeper going after your patients and that alone is going to cost you money. So I think people have to see the clear road here and the clear path to financing. And I think, as we talked about at the beginning, build a relationship with the reps, build a relationship with CareCredit, and realize that you're there to help, to educate, to train, to work with them, to give them all the tools that they need to be successful. And we know it's a hard, rough road right now. But there has to be some, maybe mention of CareCredit. I've been to several offices during this pandemic stage very carefully and cautiously, but I did not notice CareCredit signage. They were busy talking about, taking your temperature and asking you all those questions. I get it that that's priority right now for safety, but they should on the phone, when they don't have to worry about the safety or do the virtual consults, be mentioning the patient financing. So they would increase their revenue. CareCredit gets a percentage, but they don't have to go on and be a Groupon and, give 20, 30, 40, 50%, to nobody when they can be closing more deals working with CareCredit. And we have papers and numbers on that. And the statistics are huge on how much more money you will make if you did give a little piece of the pie. So you would get that many more consults closed. And I think that's a great takeaway.
Thanks.
So, today's attraction to new patients, coming into the practice, it's a perfect time to mention it. I have a handout that they will get with the thank you, and we'll add your 800 number and your information into that as well on attracting new patients, because everybody wants to attract new patients. Okay, I get it. But in this time, it's important to plan for 2021. But right now, as you said, and I agree with you 100%, right now, let's deal with your internal database and let's deal with the patients who know you, who trust you, and get them looking great for the holidays and for the new year and feeling better about themselves. So they'll tell their friends, and then that word of mouth marketing doesn't cost you anything.
That's right. Yeah. I see so many times where practices want to attract more patients. When they have plenty of patients, what they need to do is maximize the ones that they have. I'll draw a picture in some of my training classes where I show a picture of a bathtub, and this bathtub's out there and there's all kinds of holes. It looks like a colander, and the practice just has the new patient, fountain coming in, and they're just trying to get more and more, and you're never going to fill that colander up that's a bathtub, because you keep leaking. They keep leaking everywhere. And the issue is like I said, instead of just getting more patients, just take the ones that we have, and try to maximize what we've got, increase that batting average.
And I agree with you. And I think that in today's survey, which we ask people to fill out, we'll find out what else they want to learn. I'd love to have you back in 21 to talk about new programs and new ideas. And I think together we can really educate and train all the practices that are out there and their staff. And, some of the training in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it could be a lunch break or a coffee break that somebody can call up and get trained. It could be virtual. People will be back in the offices, sometime mid-year. And so, I think that they're losing a lot if they're not taking advantage of what we're talking about now and making it affordable to everybody. So, so I think, yes, attracting new patients is important, but the old, true, loyal patients are the ones you should be going after now. And if you need help with that, I'm here to help you with that, because that is easy. And it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to have a big budget for marketing, because it's all your internal database that we'd be working with. And I think that's a great takeaway. And I thank you for your time. Is there anything that we forgot or left out?
No, I don't think so. Look, it was a pleasure being a part of this. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Really, really glad I could join you for this time.
Well, I thank you so much. And you absolutely will be back in 2021. And I look forward to speaking to you and hopefully meeting you in person again soon.
Excellent. I look forward to that too, Cheryl. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Have a great week off. Thank you. So do you know your numbers? Keep your business healthy and understand your numbers. Do you need to be a CPA or a CFO? No, but you can work with your CFO or your CPA. So satisfied patients are the numbers you should be looking at now. That word of mouth marketing we're talking about is most important and costs you nothing. Beautifully profitable. I'm very proud. It's in the 6th edition, and we are offering a 50% off discount on the digital version which you can get on beautifulforever.com, and you can use the discount code PROFIT. If you want to buy it on Amazon, it is the hardcover book. If you want a hardcover book and you want me to sign it, then you can get to us through Beautiful Forever. But I am happy to do a complimentary session to talk to you about new profit centers, talk to you about what's going to happen in 2021 and creating a plan. So you can email or you can call, and beautifulforever.com will always be there for you. And Beautiful Forever University, we're here to do free education and training. And we're also doing some mentorship programs. If you are looking to be mentored, I am happy to talk to you. You can let us know by emailing us. So we're going to save the dates. We have some open discussions coming that are really exciting. So what's happening now in the med spa, skincare, and retail business? We have a guest, Lori Kane, who is amazing, partners with her husband, who is a plastic surgeon. She's amazing when it comes to retail and sales. And then we're going to talk about retail products and branding. You know, is branding just your logo? Well, Glen Epi will be there to talk to us about that, because branding is a lot more than your logo. And then when it comes to legalities, when it comes to social media and text messaging, so Jeffrey Siegel will be there to answer some more questions, and he's terrific. And I'm very excited that somebody who I started the med spa industry with, Dr. David Goldberg, will be joining us on Hot Topic in Cosmetic Dermatology. And that's on February 11th. So stay tuned. Anything you want to know, beautifulforever.com has it all. We post all of our links. Please invite your friends. And we look forward to communicating. And we do want to hear from you in your survey, as well as anytime. You can email us, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Let us know what you want to learn, and I will put it together.